Wild and woolly Wichita died hard. In the spring of 1876, Marshal Wyatt Earp believed the town was civilized at last. If he could get by one more cattle drive, the cowhands would move on to Dodge City, which was the new Gomorrah of the plains. But Wyatt discounted too much the forces of cowhand hatred and vengeance. A lot of men whom Wyatt had buffaloed or thrown into jail were determined to have one last fling in Wichita, come rain or snow.
Here, I help you, mister. Push. Oh, good. Now, you try. How they feel, Mr. Earp? Too tired? They pinch?
No, that isn't it. It's just that... Well, it's the first time I've ever had on any walking shoes. I guess that's why they just don't fit right.
But you need walking shoes, Mr. Earp. When you're on horseback, the boots, sure. But the town is so quiet, you walk the streets like a big city cop.
Yeah, I know, Tommy. Well, it's the end of something. The end of all the bad old days. Imagine me pounding a beat.
You should be happy and proud, Mr. Earp. Wichita is now civilized. And you did it with fists and guns and brains.
Well, I just helped the folks out a bit. But mostly they did it themselves by insisting on a peaceful... Take care of my boots.
Don't lose your temper, Ori. Don't lose your temper.
I ain't bad, hon. I gotta start hitting them pretty soon.
No, Ori, please. Stop it. You don't know what you're doing. The guy loses his temper.
Break it up. Break it. Break it up. Break it up. Why don't you fight your own fight? Oh, Matthew.
Stop it, Ori. Put him down.
Throw him out the door.
Put him down, I said.
All right, hon. I only lost my temper for just a second, hon.
You want me to arrest him, Mr. Taylor?
No, he doesn't. Get out of here, all of you. That means you too, Mr. Earp.
Oh, Mildred don't mean that. You can stay. He's the law, and we make friends with the law. Is that what you told me, hon?
The law, yes, but not Mr. Earp. I'm sorry, but his cousins don't like you.
Oh, that's a secret.
It's all right. I know who your cousins are.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Man and Clements, Joe and Jip Clements, John Wesley Hardin, among others.
Doggone it, hon.
And you ran Manning Clements and Wes Hardin out of Wichita. Oh, the fat's in the fire, Ori. I guess we have to leave town.
Excuse me, that dinner roast of mine will burn. Excuse me.
Why do you think you're going to have to leave town, Mrs. Taylor? You started an honest business. You got a right nice place here.
Thanks.
Look, I'm not going to tell anybody about your family connections if that's what's worrying you.
The word will get out somehow.
What if it does?
Ori's the Clements. I got him away from them, but once folks know who we are, there'll be trouble. Once the Clements, always the Clements, I reckon. How'd you find out?
Your father wrote me.
Oh,
You want me to run Ori out of town?
that sounds like Papa. Well, why didn't you order us to leave?
Well, what he wants doesn't make any difference to me. Besides, folks can't always choose their relatives on either side. Now, you and Ori are welcome to stay here in Wichita as long as you obey the city ordinances.
That's mighty decent of you. How come the Clements talk so mean?
Oh, I don't talk mean, honey. I like Mr. Earp real good. You know, that roast of mine ain't even singed.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe I'll stop back for supper.
Say, you be our guest. What I mean is, Mildred and me won't charge you nothing.
No, there was a fight at lunch, and there'll be another row at dinner. Some cowhand won't like the way Ori cooks, or he'll get fresh with me, and Ori will lose his temper, and then...
No, I won't, hon. I promised her if she'd marry me, well, there wouldn't be any more killings. I don't even keep a gun.
Well, you stick to that, Mr. Taylor. We're all trying to have a law-abiding town here in Wichita.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
I give you my promise you'll get police protection.
You're going to surround this place with deputies?
No, just myself. I'll stay out there in the kitchen where I won't be too obvious. I'll see you all later.
Oh, honey, Mr. Earp means it. Just think, I'll never have to lose my temper again. You call this good chow? It's hog slop.
Put that down.
Now, who threw that? I said, who threw it? Well, I got my supper. You get a mop and clean that up. Use her, I'll use your head for a mop.
Now, Ori?
Oh, it's all right, hon. No temper. Ori! Yes, sir.
I'll have roast beef, medium rare.
Yes, mister.
Now, let's all sit down and have a nice, quiet dinner.
Shall we?
Can I have a dustpan, please?
Who's he?
Oh, he's one of a bunch of drunken cowhands creating a disturbance outside that new cafe. It was pretty early in the morning. They were all standing out in front shouting at Ori Taylor to come on out and feed them breakfast. I just locked the rest of them up.
Any of them packing guns?
Yeah, this one was. That's why I kept him out here. I thought maybe you might want to talk to him.
No. They spoke him on peace disturbance, threatening with a deadly weapon. Drunk on the streets.
All right. Come on. Inside. Come on. Come on.
I don't know why you're taking up for these Clements.
Ori and Mildred aren't Clements.
They're trouble, Wyatt.
Oh. Why should they be? She broke with her own father to marry him, and Ori wants to run an honest business. What's wrong with that?
Romantically, nothing. But practically, it's stirring up a hornet's nest. Why not let me print the fact that the Taylors are related to Men Clements?
I'd just as soon you wouldn't, that's all.
It'd stop the trouble in their cafe right quick if the cowhand show-offs knew who they were fooling with. What are you trying to prove, Wyatt?
I'm trying to prove it's a new Wichita.
What?
Oh, you know Taylor could keep order all by himself. He's strong enough to break the average man in half, and if he wanted a gun, he'd go get it. But that was the old Wichita, Mr. Murdoch.
Well, sure, Wyatt, but this is different. It's different.
Look, we all worked hard to build a police force, to convince the town that a man no longer has to protect his own life and property. The police force will do it for him. Now, if that doesn't hold for Ori Taylor, then we have nothing. We failed. If we admit that, then Wichita's going to slide right back where Dodge City is now.
Wyatt, there's more trouble down at the new cafe.
What's wrong now?
I don't know, but the woman sent word for you to get down there right away.
I'll see you later. Get a shotgun.
You let that man out, Ori. He'll smother in there.
No, Mr. Earp's going to settle this.
He can't settle it. The madder you make that man, the more apt he is to talk. Can't you see that, you big stupid?
Well, I don't care if he talks, honey. He threatened you.
He's just a town tough. He can't do... Ori put a man in the closet. He's got to let him out before he smothers.
Who started the row?
He called us Clementses. He's sore at my cousin man.
Now, let him out, Mr. Taylor.
But he said he'd gun me. And he said he'd gun Mildred, too.
Now, let him out.
Okay, if you say so.
Take it easy. You'll be all right, Jack.
You know him?
Jack Minto. I've had him in jail a couple of times.
Since when you pal up with Clemenses? You better stop that.
Ori!
You want a piece of this joint, Marshal? That's why you're giving him personal protection?
Right now, I'm protecting you.
From what? Ptomaine poison?
Now, look, you better get out of here and stay out.
I ain't scared of him. Or any of his murdering cousins. Take it easy. I swore I'd get Man and Clement. Any Clements will do. There, he threatened us again.
Now, just take it easy, Ori. Sit down.
Who is he?
He's a faro dealer, guard over at the Oriental.
Why is he so sore at Cousin Manning?
Well, when he gets drunk, he'll tell anybody that listens to him that Manning killed his brother.
Was that true?
I don't know.
But I never killed nobody. Why don't he go after Manning?
He's scared to, I think.
Oh, it's no use, Ori. We can't stay here. We'll have to sell out and move further west.
Guess so, hon, but it don't seem hardly fair. Why can't a man live in peace? I like to keep good control of my temper. I like to cook things real nice and watch folks sit down and enjoy themselves.
eat, all friendly like. Mister, why can't a man do that?
He can, Ori.
No, he
Now,
can't.
look, don't worry. I'll run Minto out of town. Now, you two go on and prepare lunch for your customers.
Hold it.
Stay here. Your time's up, Minto.
What?
I'm doing you a favor. You better get out of town if you want to stay healthy.
You can't scare me. How much is that big idiot paying you to protect him?
You tired of living? You go against Ori with a gun, he'll break it over your head.
Sure. He stops bullets with his
Now,
nose.
look, I don't want to see you in this town 6 hours from now. If I do, it's going to take all the splint stock Fabric can find to prop you up. Sorry I'm late, but my new walking shoes pinched me so bad, I had to put my old boots back on.
What do you make of this, Wyatt? Do you think Shanghai's having a little joke with us?
No. I figured the Cayennes would want to have one last fling.
Goodbye, Wichita. Hello, Dodge.
Yeah. But as Shanghai says, if nothing happens to make them sore, well, they'll behave all right.
Something always happens to rile the cowhands. Shouldn't you swear in some extra deputies?
Nope.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. This is the new Wichita.
That's right.
Wyatt, I've been your friend a long time.
Best friend I got in Wichita.
I'd like to speak honestly. As a friend, a newspaper man. There'll always be trouble here. Cowhands hate you, and they hate Wichita for keeping you in office. They just don't realize or won't that you're not a killing marshal.
Well, I get offers every day from Mayor Hoover and Dodge.
You're not leaving. Well, that wouldn't end the trouble. The cowhands would still hate Wichita.
I'll tell you, Mr. Murdoch, nothing stays the same. The cattle shipping business has moved on to Dodge as far as this...
Marshal Earp, thank heaven. Minto's hiding in an alley in back of our place with a gun.
Minto, I told him to get out of town.
Oh, hurry, or he might lose his temper, and then anything can happen.
I want to wring your neck. Gonna knock you out.
Stop it, Ori! Let go!
No!
Ori! Did that man...
No. I had to hit him. He wouldn't let go. Or he killed Minto.
He had a gun. It was self-defense.
But he hadn't drawn the gun.
Are you going to arrest Ori? I thought you were our friend.
Now, look, Mrs. Taylor,
Don't give me that law talk. I'm going straight to Cousin Mannon.
there's no need of that.
Yes, there is. You Wichita townies are all against the Clements. Oh, come on, hon. It'll be all right. Cousin Mannon will come and get you out.
That's for the judge to decide. Come on, Ori. Come on.
You looking for someone?
I'm Mannon's cousin Mildred. Where will I find him?
Right over there.
Over here. You alone?
Yes. I know you don't like me, but Ori's in bad trouble.
How bad?
He killed a man. Wyatt Earp put him in jail.
Well, I'll be. He'd only do that if he lost his temper.
Minto was after Ori with a gun. It was self-defense, Cousin Mannon.
Ori's a maverick. Turned on his family. Married you.
Well, he's still your cousin. You're not going to let those Wichita townies lynch him.
Are you sure that's what they aim to do?
Of course they do. Earp pretended to be our friend, and then he said that Minto hadn't drawn his gun, and he took Ori for murder. Will you aim to stand by while they lynch your own blood cousin?
Well, no, I don't reckon I could do that.
Well, what are you going to do?
Busting Ori out of that Wichita jail is not going to be any picnic. I'll have to get a lot of boys.
You will come and save him.
Well, not on your account. Now, you get along back to Wichita.
Yes, sir, Cousin Manor.
Wyatt. You here all alone?
Yep.
Where are all your deputies?
Out at the edge of town waiting for Man and Clemens.
What about that lynch mob out there?
Don't worry about them. They won't start anything until they see what Judge Jewett does in court.
And what are you going to do?
Tell the truth?
What's that? Taylor murdered the man, didn't he?
Nope.
Why, for heaven's sakes, he's at Clemens. Doc Fabrique tells me it was the most brutal killing he'd ever worked on.
I know. Come on, let's go to court.
Listen, Wyatt, the whole town's up in arms about this. You can't afford to side in with the Clements, with the cowhand faction.
I know I can't, but I can afford to tell the truth. Come on.
Proceed with your testimony, Mr. Taylor.
Well, when I saw him waiting for me in the alley, I kind of lost my temper. Hello, Mildred. That's my wife who just come in. She always warned me not to do it.
Not to kill Jack Minto?
Oh, no, sir. Not to lose my temper.
Oh. Is that all you have to say?
I reckon it is.
You may step down.
Well, thank you, Judge.
Marshal Earp?
Yes.
You go ahead and lie about us and see how much good it'll do you.
Order. Quiet, young woman. Proceed, Marshal Earp.
Well, I haven't got too much time, Your Honor. There's a lynch party outside, and I think Man and Clemens is on his way here with a gang of cowhands.
Does that disturb you, Marshal?
No, sir.
Good. And I think we have time for you to tell the court the whole truth.
Well, sir, in the first place, I can verify everything that Ori Taylor testified to. Minto did threaten to kill Ori. I was there. So I ordered Minto to leave town.
Mildred says to hurry. White Earp's going to lie in court. The townies are all set to hang Ori after the judge sentences him. How much time we got? Not more than half an hour. Give me the spoon.
And I think the only question this court has to decide is whether Ori had to kill Minto.
And what is your own opinion, Marshal Earp?
Well, sir, physically speaking, Ori did have the jump on Minto and could have disarmed him. But mentally speaking, Ori was in fear of his life. I don't think the law can ask a fearful and angry man like Ori to exercise calm judgment in a situation like that. My opinion is that Ori be found guilty of manslaughter and because of extenuating circumstances be given a suspended sentence.
This court agrees with Marshal Earp and sentences the defendant to 1 year in jail. The sentence is hereby suspended.
Judge, does that mean I don't have to go to jail?
That's right. But I think Marshal Earp wants to keep you in protective custody for a short time.
Well, I think that would be better, sir. Would you take Mr. Taylor back to jail?
Mildred. Court's adjourned.
They took him to the jail. Let's get over there. Hold it.
thought you men wanted a civilized town. Well, you got one, whether you want it or not. Now, maybe you're the last of the old Wichita wild and woolies. Maybe you'd rather die than act decent. All right. All of you in favor of dying, make your play.
Only a handful. I said the whole town would be after Taylor.
Wichita's changed, Mr. Murdoch. But I doubt if Manning Clements has changed very much.
Why not turn Taylor loose? That'd satisfy Clements.
Manning would just think I was doing that because I was afraid of him. I'm gonna go meet him.
You want to fight?
No, I want peace, Mr. Murdoch. Sometimes you can talk folks into being civilized. Other times you gotta use a gun.
Pick one up.
All right, man?
You all set?
Yeah. I got the shotguns loaded. Keep an eye out.
Wyatt, I may have done wrong, but I let Mrs. Taylor through.
How long ago was that?
15 minutes or so. She wouldn't say what her business was or where she was going.
She's probably going to tell Manning that we're keeping Ori in jail. He's not going to like that.
We did that for Ori's own good.
You try and argue that with Manning. I'm going to talk with this.
Wyatt, here they come.
All right, everybody keep down. Don't start anything until they do.
She says you told the truth.
I always try to do that.
She says you stood off a lynch party. You aimed to turn Cousin Ori loose from jail.
That's right.
The judge and you Wichita folks really gave one of us Clemenses a fair trial.
Yes, they did, Cousin Manning.
Well, I'm mighty thankful to you, Mr. Earp.
You're welcome.
Me and the boys, we left our weapons back yonder. You reckon it's all right for us to come into Wichita?
Yep.
I don't suppose you'd take a bite to eat with us over at the Texas Hotel.
Well, thank you, Manning. I'd like to do that. Mrs. Taylor, I'm sure that invitation includes you and Cousin Ori.
Well,
It's a family affair. You're kinfolk. Does seem like there's something more I could do.
There is. You can tell the cow camps that Wichita wants peace. They'd listen to you, Manning.
I'll do that, Mr. Earp.
All right, everybody grab a box. Move them out of the way.
Mighty nice of you, Mr. Earp.
All right, yes, sit down.
How was dinner?
Huh?
How was Manning?
Roast beef.
Hmm?
Well, he said he'd pass the word. He's got 37 cousins, and they in turn will pass the word.
Well, Wyatt, I guess you can move on to Dodge City with a clear conscience.
She said he couldn't guarantee that they'd listen. If they didn't listen, he'd gun them.
Well, that's one way to have peace.
Yeah.
After taming Wichita, he found that Dodge was a right mean little town. The phrase right mean little town is frontier understatement. Dodge City in 1876 was tougher than Ellsworth, Wichita, Hayes, or Abilene at their worst. 2 months was a long time for a marshal to last in Dodge. In less than 2 years, 85 bodies had been planted in the town cemetery, known as Boot Hill. It was called Boot Hill because its residents died with their boots on. The gamblers, the painted ladies, and the gunfighters of Dodge were betting that Mr. Wyatt Earp would be the next occupant of Boot Hill.
There's many a gallant man struck down by an outlaw's hand, buried there on Boot Hill. And under the same blue sky, both evil and good men lie, side by side on Boot Hill. Once they shared the earth with free men, but they learned to hate and kill. Now they share the earth with dead men on Boot Hill. So traveler, walk with care, or you and those boots you wear may tomorrow be in their company, lying cold and still on Boot Hill.
Al Treadway, killed by Marshal William Rivers. No more rivers to cross.
Oh, howdy.
Howdy.
You related to the deceased?
Oh, no, I'm just coming into town. Thought I'd stop by. This is your Boot Hill, huh?
That's right, mister. I'm Pete Bradshaw. I'm the sexton. I guess that's what you call it, but mostly I just dig graves.
You got a funeral today, huh?
Well, it ain't certain. The boys told me to get a grave ready. They aim to kill this new marshal that's coming here, Wyatt Earp.
Oh?
Yeah. You see, they chased Jack Allen, that's the old marshal, out of town. So George Hoover, that's the mayor. So George up and he hires this Wyatt Earp by telegraph. Seems like this here fella Earp made a big reputation in Wichita. Yeah. I reckon this is big enough for Earp.
Well, it might be a little bit longer.
Oh, you know Earp?
Hmm.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's about, I'd say just about my height.
Well, you'd run to about 6'1"?
Just about.
6 inches I'll have to add onto this grave. Sure glad you come along, Mr.
Earp.
Yeah, Earp. Huh? You joking with me?
Well, I never joke in cemeteries, Mr. Bradshaw.
But you're just a young fella. You ain't hardly more than a boy.
Guess I kind of aged fast.
I kind of put my foot in it, didn't I?
Don't worry about it.
It's seeing you're such a good sport. I'm going to give you a tip.
Huh?
Don't walk down Front Street. That's the main drag. They'll be laying for you along Front Street.
They will, huh?
Yeah. Hoover and the deputies are holed up in the jail. That's on the plaza. So you go down one of the side streets and kind of sneak in the back door of the jail. That's my advice.
Thank you, but aren't you kind of talking yourself out of a good job?
Well, if it ain't you, it'll be somebody else. And this hole ain't gonna run away. Well, good luck, Mr. Earp.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw. I'd say you might make that about 6 inches wider, too. I like a lot of elbow room.
Wyatt Earp. I'd like to talk to Mayor Hoover. You're talking to him. And you got here just in time. That's the Big T outfit. They've got 2 of my best men, Tillman and Bassett, holed up in the depot. Come on in, Mr. Earp.
Well, thank you, sir, no.
What?
Well, all I want right now is my appointment as marshal and the star that goes with it.
Well, the telegram I sent you with your appointment, and here's your star. What's all the rush?
Well, I got to take a little walk down Front Street. I understand the boys are expecting me, and I kind of hate to disappoint them.
What about Tillman and Bassett?
Well, that can wait for a half hour or so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. See you soon. I hope.
Wyatt Earp's in town. Wyatt Earp is here.
Hey, you Wyatt Earp? That's right.
Take care of your friend. Stop moaning. You're not hurt that bad. Here, plug it up with that and go see the doc. Hold it! Go pick up your friends.
Bushwhackers.
Anybody else that doesn't like the new marshal?
Who done that? I did.
Wyatt Earp, all right. Rousting Front Street's a waste of time. Why don't you go over to the depot? There's a little war on.
It'll keep. I've never seen anything like that before. Took a lot of nerve walking Front Street alone.
It was a little foolhardy, Mr. Mayor, but I had to do it. If I'd let those boys think I was scared of them, I might as well have climbed on the first train out of here. They were all my deputies.
They ran. Wichita isn't like this.
Used to be.
Not quite, Mr. Earp. Do you really know what our position is at the present time?
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
We've got just two good men on our side. Charlie Bassett and Bill Tillman. And they're the sheriff and the chief deputy, not city peace officers.
Yeah, I've heard of Bassett and Tillman. They're two of the best.
The big T outfit's been hoorahing Dodge since last night. They cornered Bill and Charlie in the depot. I don't know how much longer they can hold out.
I better get down there.
No, they've got the place surrounded by at least 30 men.
I'm just going to take a look around. There's a job you can do, Mr. Mayor. Think you can find a couple of good men in Dodge to help us?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Well, come on. Things can't be that bad. What about Dog Kelly and Chalk Beeson?
They run saloons, Mr. Earp.
Dog Kelly used to be a top sergeant in the Army. You tell him I want 6 or 8 special deputies.
I hate to be beholden to Kelly.
Now, look, Mr. Hoover, I didn't take this job to pass moral judgment on men like Kelly. When you got cowhands on a stampede, you don't appeal to the Ladies' Aid Society for help. You get tough men that know how to handle a gun.
All right, Marshal. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. I'll be back in 15 minutes. You have me some deputies.
Bassett! Tillman! Hold your fire!
Who was that fella?
Wyatt Earp.
What does he say?
He says to hold on and not try to make a run for it. He says he'll be back in 20 minutes with enough help.
Enough help? What's he got, an army?
He's a good man, Charlie. I'm for taking his word.
Hey, Tillman, Bassett, come out with your hands up. Come out or we'll fire the depot.
How many cartridges you got left?
A couple of dozen.
They won't last 20 minutes.
All right, get the torches.
Listen, Kelly, Earp says it'll take only 6 or 8 good men. He's sure he can handle it with that many.
Earp must have let his head swell in Wichita.
He calmed down Front Street, didn't he?
Front Street ain't the big T outfit. Well, Earp's got nerve, but he lacks judgment. I did.
Mr. Kelly won't throw in with us, Marshal.
Oh? I thought you had an honorable discharge from the Army, Master Sergeant Kelly.
Now, don't you try to shame me into being a hero. I'm too old for that.
I see that now.
Oh, you do?
But I haven't got any time to argue with you. Are you going to get me those men?
No.
Well, you got a right handsome place here, Mr. Kelly.
Well, cost me a few thousand just to furnish the bar. I got some more stuff coming from the east.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, when that big T outfit gets done killing Bassett and Tillman, they'll start shooting up Front Street. Your place ought to be about first in line. Yeah, sure like those lamps. And then I think they'd go for the mirror.
No, wait a minute.
All right. You're going to get me those men and 50 sticks of dynamite.
How soon you want them?
5 minutes. Over at the jail. All right, and there's no sense trying to knock those big T's out of their ambush. We haven't got enough men, and it'd take too long.
All right, how'd you do it in Wichita?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Kelly, in Wichita, we never let things get this bad. Everybody there was right proud of their town.
Yeah? I got the best saloon in Kansas.
Now, you going to brag about your saloon, or are you going to listen to my plan?
Go ahead.
I noticed the cattle pens behind the depot had a lot of steers in them. Who owned them?
Big T.
That's good. We'll dynamite the pens.
Dynamite the pens?
That's right. It's the only way to run out the big T's. They'll be so busy chasing steers, they'll stop shooting at Tillman and Bassett.
All right, but let me warn them what we aim to do first. Those boys are my customers.
Mr. Kelly, I don't care anything about your saloon trade. They're shooting at peace officers. Now, are you with me, or do I go in there alone?
Earp, you're the most violent peace officer I ever met in my life. But we're with you.
Good. All right, all of you grab a couple of bundles.
Bassett! Reverend! Come on all over with your hands up!
How many we got left?
Just 4 apiece, Charlie.
Earp's not coming. Let's go out and make these 8 shots count.
Come out or we'll fire the depot! All right. Get the torch.
All right, you 3, take the north side. You 2 come with me. You know what to do, let's go!
Cover us.
Bassett, Tillman, it's Earp.
Don't worry about the big T's. They're out chasing steers.
I'm Sheriff Bassett. This is my deputy, Bill Tillman.
Howdy.
We're sure glad to see you.
You saved our hides, but you didn't make things too good for the town.
How's that?
What Bill means is the Big T ain't gonna like chasing their stock all over the country. That was a right smart stunt, and we'll take what's coming, right, Bill?
Got no choice.
Being as I'm a stranger here, what is coming?
They'll tree old Dodge and burn it to the ground. Not much loss of that.
Oh, don't discourage the marshal. Maybe they'll be satisfied with just killing the three of us. Come on, Mr. Earp. That jail of ours be the best place to make a stand.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is all wrong.
All wrong?
When you hired me as the marshal of Dodge, I took for granted it was a town.
It is.
I'm sorry. Looks like a small fort in Apache country. Here we sit holed up while the Big T's are making up their mind whether we're going to live or die.
I told you they wouldn't like it. Us dynamite in the cattle pens.
Why should we care what they like? They're just a bunch of lawless hoodlums.
Easy now, Wyatt.
Look, we're either the law or we're nothing.
But there's only so much we can do. Sure, I'm the sheriff of Ford County, and you're the marshal of Dodge.
And that'll be carved on the head markers.
You keep out of this, Bill. This fella's from Wichita, where it's been civilized for quite a spell. How old do you think Dodge City is?
11 or 12 years, how do I know?
4. In 1872, it was nothing but a tent camp and a few sod huts.
You can't make a city in 4 years, Wyatt.
And you can't go against an outfit like the Big T with a handful of guns. They outsmarted Bill and me. We went to the pens to check on rustled steers, and before we knew it, they had 30 Winchesters and Colts on us.
I warned them.
A cattle outfit like that is just a mob. Who heads up the Big T?
Gus Andrews, wouldn't you say, Bill?
He's their foreman and top gun.
How good is he?
Fast.
Planted 6 in Boot Hill.
He's got a lot of extra help now, Wyatt.
Hey, Kelly and Hoover, I want to talk to you. Come on out here. Gus Andrews is plenty sore at you.
Is that so?
Yeah, he says you got to pay $20 a head for 9 steers. Also, he wants those pens rebuilt by noon tomorrow.
Hold it.
Yes, Sonny.
Gus Andrews isn't giving any orders to Mayor Hoover. You go tell Mr. Andrews that I want him for inciting a riot and for shooting at peace officers.
Oh, no.
Shut up! You tell Mr. Andrews to ride into Dodge alone and give himself up. If he's not here by sundown, I'm coming after him, you understand?
Don't make me laugh.
You still laughing?
No, sir.
When you get on your horse and tell Andrews what I said.
They got a grave waiting for you, Earp.
Yeah, we'll send flowers. I reckon Mr. Andrews isn't coming into town. So where can I find him?
Huh?
Where can I find Mr. Andrews?
I know, but I don't aim to tell you.
Charlie's trying to save your life.
Well, I'll ask around. Somebody ought to know where I can find the Big T outfit.
Don't you know it's suicide riding into the Big T outfit?
Maybe.
Bill, you talk to him.
No business of mine. Come on, it's your move.
You made a reputation for yourself in Wichita and Ellsworth. What good's that going to do you if you wind up on Boot Hill?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Bassett, I learned something in those towns. A mob isn't 20 men, 50 men, or 100 men. It's one man, its leader. In this case, it's Gus Andrews. That's why I'm going after him. Now, you can do me a big favor. Does Andrews have a high forehead or a low forehead?
High.
What brand of Stetson does he wear?
Pride of Texas, like all of Big T.
2-inch sweatband, huh? Thank you, sir. A pleasure meeting you, Mr. Tillman.
I'll be at your funeral.
That big-headed Yankee show-off.
You going along?
Yeah. If that Earp gets me killed, I hope somebody explains to my wife.
Where do they think they're going?
After Gus Andrews.
We ought to stop them.
No. Earp, Bassett, and Tillman. Well, there's a sight you maybe won't see again in your lifetime. 3 greatest peace officers ever lived.
San Antonio, we didn't have the trouble. These guys didn't want to.
What year was that?
1950.
Well, I don't know.
Which one of you is Gus Andrews?
I am.
I sent word for you to come into town. Did you get the message?
Sure, I got your message. But I figured you'd drop by for my answer.
The rest of you, drop your gun belts. Don't want to have to dig any further into Boot Hill. I said drop it! Man with Gus. The other 2 are dead.
What about Gus?
He'll live. Just got a hurt head.
Come on, give us a hand. Morning, Mr. Bradshaw.
Earp, I thought this was for you.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we had a little change in plans.
I just got word to dig another. Who are these 2 for?
Well, I don't know. Sheriff Bassett and Deputy Tillman are getting the names, and they're making the arrangements.
Was you in the fight?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how come you missed?
Well, just lucky, I guess. You know, one of these days we're going to have to close this Boot Hill section.
Close it? Why?
It's given Dodge City a pretty bad reputation. And anyway, as a new marshal, I don't think I could give you too much business.
You must be pretty poor hand with a gun.
I guess you're right. I always do manage to miss somehow.
Wyatt Earp, the new marshal of Dodge City, was trying to civilize the toughest town on the western frontier. The hoodlums of Dodge knew that Earp had tamed Ellsworth and Wichita, but these were little cow towns compared to Dodge City, the cowhand capital. Marshal Earp had to start all over again, and in the face of opposition which had run several peace officers out of Dodge. This Gomorrah of the Plains offered Wyatt Earp a hard choice, fight or run. And if he was to fight it out, Wyatt needed the help of City Councilman Jim Kelly. Mr. Dog Kelly, they called him in the history books. Ex-soldier, gambler, saloon keeper. An odd mixture of good and evil.
This place won't open until I feel like it. Jim Kelly. Jim must be riled about something. Well, I want to get a drink.
It's like I was bewitched by this fella, Earp Deacon. He comes in here and fast talks me into helping him against the Big T outfit. I got no business helping him against good customers like the Big T Ranch boys. Who's next? What's the next donation?
The Reverend Halkett.
Give him 50. Why should I have helped Wyatt Earp? Who's Wyatt Earp? Nothing but a smart aleck young John Law. He'll be here today and dead tomorrow. Who's next?
Mrs. Jenkins and children.
I'll give him the same as we gave him last month. Like I was saying, Deacon, Earp had no call on me, none at all. But I round up some special deputies and 50 sticks of dynamite, and then what does Earp do? He blows up their cattle pens and turns all the wild steers loose. So the Big T cowhands have to quit shooting at Charlie Bassett and Bill Tillman in the depot. They got to ride half a day collecting steers. 2 Big T hands get killed and Earp creases their foreman's skull. I need my head cracked open for having anything to do with Wyatt Earp.
You didn't know how Rough Earp plays it, boss. How much for Father Shevlin?
Father Shevlin, is it? The way that man keeps after me. Not a dime. Not 1 penny. More than 200.
All right. That finishes the list. Ain't you due at the city council meeting?
No. Earp wants me to vote to close this town up tight. The gall of him. Does he think the big cattle driving outfits are going to stand for that without killing him? And maybe me? By Joe, I'm in my right mind now. And if you ever see Jim Kelly give Wyatt Earp so much as the back of his hand, this whole saloon is yours, Deacon. Now, you got my oath on it. All right, Sparky, open up. Open her up wide and let them start drinking. Maybe they'll punch Marshal Earp in the nose.
Now let's get organized this time. We make our play in real Big T style. We scatter and take the back streets to Gruber's livery barn. We leave the horses there, and then we get ready to move on that Kelly.
It wasn't Kelly's fault.
What?
Earp forced him to it.
Ah, quit your jabbering. It was both their faults. 2 of our men are dead, and Gus Andrews will be laid up for weeks. And we don't take that off on nobody.
No, that's right.
We're fixing Kelly first, and then the Big T will get Wyatt Earp. Now move.
Back there. Go on, go
They're
on.
not Big T, men. They're just drunks.
Al, the doc will be over to patch him. Keep him locked up.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, I'm awful sorry to keep the town council waiting.
What happened to you?
Oh, nothing too serious. One of the Big T outfits stuck his thumb in my eye. But I don't think he'll do it again. He'll be all right in a couple of days, though. But what's more important is there are drunken cowhands in the street with guns. Mr. Mayor, that ought to convince you that we need these new ordinances that I'm asking for.
I'm convinced, Wyatt. I'm not, and neither's Mr. Billings. The town council is kind of hung up. 2 votes for your new ordinances and 2 against.
Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you, it's useless to even hire a marshal if these aren't approved. Now, what are the objections, Mr. Prentice?
Well, Billings and I think 2 of them are all right, but we sure don't like the others.
Which ones do you object to? Check your guns, don't ride horses on the sidewalks or in saloons or hotels, don't discharge firearms within the city limits, no drunkenness on the streets.
Well, we vote against number 2 and number 4.
Oh, in other words, you think it's all right to ride a horse into a saloon or hotel lobby or into a store, huh?
Well, it shouldn't be a misdemeanor, it's just harmless fun. Harmless fun? We've had at least 20 innocent bystanders kicked or bitten by horses. And being drunk on the streets. That's just harmless fun, too? I'm not a hypocrite. I've been tipsy on the street, and so have you, and so has Kelly.
Say, speaking of Kelly, where is Mr. Kelly? He's a 5th member of the council, isn't he?
Jim ran out on us.
What do you mean he ran out?
Well, he's sore because you got him involved in that fight last week. Says he won't vote either way. But if he did vote, he'd vote against you, Marshal. Afraid that's it.
And Mr. Mayor, I'd appreciate it if you'd call another meeting for tonight. Have a little talk with Mr. Kelly.
That won't do any good. You know that. Kelly is on our side. I know.
Ace is a loser. Count your bet. Three is a winner.
Mr. Kelly, I'd like a few words with you.
Oh, what happened to you?
Oh, I caught a little thumb in the eye.
Big T. I'm sorry to hear it, but that's the only word you'll get from me. We ain't friends.
Oh, wait a minute. This is business. Both mine and yours.
I helped you once, never again. Ain't I made it clear enough? I'm asking you to keep away from me.
You know, there must be 2 Jim Kellys.
Then this one's in his right mind.
I kind of like the first Jim Kelly. That's the one that helped me put a stop to that Big T outfit from tearing this town apart about a week ago.
Then you like mush-headed idiots. Now you're talking to the real Jim Kelly. I run a saloon and a gambling hall.
Well, that's legal business, Mr. Kelly.
And I sell liquor to the Big T outfit. I didn't mean to set him up for a killing.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bassett and Tillman shot in line of duty. It was self-defense.
Stop trying to argue with me. You got a slick poison tongue, Earp. You and your two Kellys. Well, I'm sick of looking at you, and I ain't gonna talk to you. And by George, if you don't get out of here...
Mr. Kelly.
Well, my duty's to defend myself. Settle the chips and close up. Gotta change this place into a fort like the Alamo. Sparky, get out the guns. Reb, put up the bars. Start piling tables in front of the doors and windows. All right, there's gonna be trouble here. Anybody who's got a shooting beef against the Big T can stay and help themselves. The rest of you, clear out.
Oh, now, think about it, Mr. Kelly. You can't stand off that many men. Marshal, this don't make sense. He'll get us all shot and the place burned on top of us. Can't you do something?
I can try. You sure you got your facts straight?
Yes. You can leave for the back door.
You know, this is no place to make a fight, Mr. Kelly.
Whose fight is it?
It's more mine than it is yours. Now you'd make a pretty good-looking deputy.
I'm defending myself, not helping you.
You sure you couldn't use a little help?
Not from you. I'll leave for the back door, I said. Get moving.
I sure did like that old Jim Kelly. Yes, sir. You know, he used to be a real tough sergeant in the cavalry. You know?
Just keep walking.
I kind of depended on him, too. Like all old Army men, I kind of knew his duty. Figured he'd back me in the council and put an end to all this foolishness.
I'll take what's coming.
You want to fight it out with that gang of spoiled, rotten hoodlums all by yourself, huh?
The door is open.
All right. I'll ask you just one more question. I'll ask it of the Jim Kelly that you claim to be right now. Now, what's the sense in turning your back on the law and trying alone to shoot out a hoodlum grudge?
Because I am a hoodlum. Because this is a hoodlum town. And that's the way Dodge is going to stay. The likes of you won't change it.
Well, I'm going to sure try to change it. Well, good luck to you against the Big T outfit, Mr. Councilman.
2 Jim Kellys. That young smart aleck. Hey! Who put buckshot in my gun? I want slugs! Buffalo slugs!
Howdy, Mr. Mayor.
Haven't you heard the news? The Big T outfit is coming into town to shoot up Kelly's place.
Maybe.
What the stage driver saw him. 10 or 15 guns. About a half an hour out of town. Well, aren't you going to do something?
No, sir.
What?
Oh, I don't think they're going to hurt Kelly much.
Why do you say that? The Big T outfit has every reason to crack down on Kelly.
Well, I think they kind of like Kelly. At least the hoodlum part of him. Anyway, they're not after him. They're after Bassett, Tillman, and me.
But Bill Tillman and Charlie Bassett aren't in town.
Yeah, I know. That leaves me.
I guess I don't know you very well, yet. But if a crowd of range stuffs was coming after me, I'd be swearing in special deputies and getting ready to blast them from every building on Front Street.
Well, I can't do that.
Why not?
Well, because of public opinion, Mr. Mayor. It's my most important weapon. If I'm going to do any good here in Dodge, I can't go around shooting people from ambush.
But you think you can afford to let Kelly get hurt and have his saloon wrecked?
Well, I think there's some kind of a trick.
Trick?
Yes, sir. Studying cowhands kept me alive in Ellsworth and Wichita. I don't think that Big T outfit's going to jump me in an open fight. Now, they've already lost their 3 best men. They haven't had time yet to hire any real fast guns.
But they'll jump Kelly.
Maybe. But I don't aim to let anything too bad happen.
You're going to try and save his life? Why?
Well, because he's got the deciding vote in the council. I want his vote for those ordinances.
That's a mighty cold-blooded way to look at it.
Well, I'm in a mighty cold-blooded business. Say, did it ever occur to you that there are 2 Jim Kellys? Sir, one would sell me out, a flash of Irish temper, and the other would weep and plant shamrocks in my grave. Pretty soon we're going to find out which Kelly comes out on top. It's going to be a pretty close fight.
Jim Kelly, hereby bequeath, bequest, bequeath. Hey, Deacon, come here. How's this fella Herb spell his name?
Well, Wyatt would be W-I-A-T, and I guess Earp is U-R-P. Why, boss?
Never mind. Get back on guard. To Father Chevron, $5,000. Hoping he will pray once a week for Wyatt Earp.
Hey, Mr. Kelly. 2 big T cowmen, but they're on foot.
Comb and daggers. I wonder why they ain't riding with the rest of them.
Maybe they got fired.
Oh, they didn't. They're keeping an eye on me. And where's my good friend Wyatt Earp?
He offered to help.
Shut up! They'll get me and let him run out. I'll have no prayers for Wyatt Earp. Something's wrong. When the big T comes after you, they don't stall around. They come galloping down the street. They come shooting.
Maybe they're scared of Earp.
Ah, 1 marshal and 3 deputies. Might be scared if Tillman and Bassett was here. They're out in the country chasing stage robbers.
Drop your guns. Keep the rest of them covered. Take him in the back room.
You... All right, what's the idea? You guys...
We're giving you your last chance.
You can't bust in on me, put guns on me, slap me around.
Keep your temper. We want Wyatt Earp.
Go over to the jail, then.
Oh, no. We're going to get him here, and you're going to help us.
You mean bushwhack Earp?
If that's what it has to be.
Oh, no. I hate his insides, but...
Listen. You want a couple of slugs in your stomach?
No.
You want this place on fire and half the town with it? All right. And the first thing you do is open for business just like nothing ever happened.
What is going to happen?
I'll tell you all about it, Kelly. Now get it open.
Wyatt. There are 8 T-brand horses at Gruber's livery stable.
Where'd the men go?
Gruber thinks they went to get something to drink.
It's a false alarm, I reckon. Now, that could be a few of them over there. You and Pete wait a couple of minutes and then go tell them to get out of town.
Shall we pass the word to Mr. Kelly?
And let him sweat.
Hey, Dick. Dick! Let Sparky sit in for you. Come here. Take it, Sparky. I ain't going through with it.
Huh?
I don't hate Earp that much.
Oh, now, think about this. You can't double-cross the big T.
Well, it's murder they plan. You want murder on your soul?
I ain't got a soul.
All men got souls. Now, don't you never say that again.
All right, all right.
I should let him do it to Earp. If he stays in Dodge, he'll be hounding me. He'll be worse than Father Shevlin.
Now you talk like the real Jim Kelly.
Now, don't you start that. Some things even a hoodlum won't do. You go tell Earp the whole rotten scheme.
That's final?
Right.
All right. But the big T cowhands will know you tipped him.
Not if Earp plays it smart. And I know Earp. He'll play it real smart.
He'd better. He could get us both killed.
Oh, warn him about that. Well, there ain't much time. Find a way to get over to Earp's where they won't see you.
And Pete's gonna pretend to be dead in the alley here. The rest of the Big T boys will be hiding in the back of Lukey's store at the windows here. They figure you'll come busting into the alley to examine Pete. When you do that, they'll give it to you.
I see.
Now, I think, Mr. Kelly thinks, that you should sneak into the back of the store and take them from behind. But you and your deputies got to get them all, Mr. Earp. Otherwise, they'll be after me and Kelly.
Well, thank you, Deacon. We'll try and handle it.
There won't be no slip-up.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, thanks.
So long, Deacon. And thank Mr. Kelly for me.
This man just been shot dead in the alley.
Good evening, Mr. Kelly. Thanks for the information.
What are you doing here?
I was on my way to the alley.
No, they're laying for you. Now, Deacon said you promised to take them from behind.
Kill him, huh?
They aim to kill you.
Maybe.
No, maybe. They'll do it. Now, get out of here, by the front door.
If I do that, Mr. Kelly, why, they'll suspect you of tipping me off.
I thought you'd act sensible. You scared of a little killing?
Yep.
No. I get it. Maybe you want me and Deacon killed.
Look, I don't want anybody killed. Now, will you just get out of my way?
With one eye? You daft. You go out there and you'll be a corpse in 10 seconds.
Which Mr. Kelly are you tonight?
No, don't start that. Get out of here. By the front door. Maybe I can convince him you lost your nerve or somebody else talked.
Look, Mr. Kelly, I can't take those men from behind. Sure, I can trust myself, but I can't ask my deputies not to shoot to kill.
All right, then run.
There's been too much running by peace officers in Dodge City already.
You can't fight. The odds are too heavy.
Just stand back.
They've run. Let's get them. Keep us covered.
All right. I'll get out there and tell them to quit.
Don't shoot it. It's me, Pete. We give up.
Drop it. I wish you'd let me shoot him.
You go on back in there. Go on.
Come on out of there.
You tell your boss not to bring any more cattle into Dodge. The Big T outfit isn't welcome here. In afternoon tomorrow, I'm going to shoot any on sight. You understand? All right, now pick up these two and take them to Doc McCarty's office.
Go on, move.
And you know what? I'm a ruined man. Ruined. You told the Big T they can't come into Dodge. Do you know what that means? They got a drive payoff of $30,000, and I used to get a third of it.
So you lose $10,000.
But that ain't the main thing. You cornered me. You shoved me over to your side. I'll be known as Trader Kelly, the man who turned against his customers to help the law.
That's right.
None of the big cattle outfits will come into my place. I might just as well close up and prepare to leave this world.
Well, now you're exaggerating a bit.
Well, the Big T knows I double-crossed them and pulled a gun on their boys. You think they'll let me get away with that?
Why, sure.
They will not. I'll be gunned on the streets.
Well, I don't think so.
You got the sheer gall to deny that. Why?
I'll tell you, because you'll be known as a great personal friend of mine.
Friend, is it? Never.
They gun you, I'll gun them. Why, Texas won't be big enough to hold them.
I suppose you'd even follow them into Mexico.
Sure, if need be.
This is a trick. You're working on my Irish heart. Friend, you don't even like me.
Well, sure I like you. That Jim Kelly I saw tonight was a brave man.
I'll turn on you. I'll stab you in the back.
That might be. The old Jim Kelly might come back again.
Don't bet against it. Well, I had my say fair and square. But don't ask me to shake hands, because I won't. We can't never be friends, and that's the honest truth.
Well, if you say so, Mr. Kelly.
And one more thing, and you get it straight. Don't you dog me and hound me. I won't have any sanctimonious John Law trailing after me for help.
Of course not. Before you go, Mr. Kelly, how are you going to vote on those new ordinances? You know, you're the only holdout.
And I always will be. Give me a piece of chalk.
Right there in the tray.
I vote yes. James Kelly.
I vote yes. James Kelly. Gives me a majority of one vote. Well, thank you, Mr. Kelly. And good night to you.
Cowhands on a hoorah weren't the only troublemakers in Dodge City when Wyatt Earp was marshal. There were tough buffalo hunters who went on sprees in Dodge. And there were the railroad construction gangs of the Santa Fe who tried to make good their boast that Dodge was hell on wheels. In 1876, these two groups of hoodlums fought each other for possession of the dance hall run by Dora Hand, the queen of Dodge City's nightlife. Dora Hand, a beautiful and mysterious young woman who was a legend in her own lifetime. Men shot or maimed one another in fights over Dora and the girls of her dance hall.
Come on, that's it. Right there. Go in there. Come on. Come on. Why'd you do that? That was
Stop it! The fight's over. Take it easy. Now, what's all this about?
It was just an argument, Marshal. There's no need to arrest them. They'll behave.
Take them both to jail, Hal.
Come on.
Now, look, Miss Dora, this is the third fight you've had in her since noon.
Sam, drinks on the house. Marshal. I would have broken it up. The men listened to me.
Well, Miss Dora, that buffalo hunter would have cut him to ribbons.
Well, the railroad man started it.
Look, you've got a rough mixture here. Buffalo hunters and railroad men. You're going to have to make up your mind to bar one crowd or the other.
That's not easy, Marshal. What about the cowhands and the soldiers? No, what I need are bigger and braver barkeeps. They'll stop all the rough stuff.
Miss Dora, that isn't going to work either.
Why, there've always been fights on this side of the line. When men drink and argue about women, there are bound to be fights.
Not with knives and guns, they're not going to fight.
What's this leading to, Marshal? You plan to close me.
I sure don't want to, Miss Dora, but...
Keep out of this.
I only want to make a suggestion to Marshal Earp. I'll just say in your report that the hoorah was at my place. That way she won't get mentioned in the papers.
No, keep out of it. Mr. Kelly is in one of his gallant moods this evening. I handle my own beefs, Kelly.
You hit one of them on the head with a whiskey bottle. Is that ladylike?
I told you can never make a lady out of me. What'd you do to Jim? Are you a hypnotist or something?
No, ma'am.
Earp ain't any friend of mine.
Don't try to string me. Earp's got you acting respectable. Councilman Kelly, they call him, the law and order man. Well, this is between us. You can say I'm a public nuisance and close me, I guess.
Oh, no.
Oh, shut up. Well, what's the verdict, Marshal?
Well, Miss Dora, I could sign an extra deputy here for a few days.
Yeah, good idea.
Oh, it's not a good idea at all. The Buffalo men will say you're siding in with the Santa Fe crowd, and the Santa Fe crowd will tell Major Paxton that you're favoring the Buffalo men.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, I suggest, why don't you let me talk to all the men? If they know that you're threatening to close me, they'll stop all the rough stuff.
All right, ma'am, you're entitled to that chance. Good evening.
Thank you, Marshal.
Now, Dora.
Oh, shut up, Kelly.
Earp, wait for me. I want to talk to you.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Well, I do. But not as a friend, mind you.
All right.
Don't get any wrong ideas about Miss Dora and me. She considers herself too good to marry a saloon keeper. By George, she's right.
Yes, sir.
You don't know Miss Dora. All you see is a dance hall owner and jump to conclusions.
Well, I've jumped a lot of times, Mr. Kelly, but never to a conclusion.
You might as well know the truth fair and square. I'm on Miss Dora's side.
You in love with her?
That's none of your business. Well, we hired you to keep law and order in this town, not to go sticking your nose into personal matters.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I'll have to tell you the truth, fair and square.
What truth?
Well, I can't keep Sunday school order in this part of town. I'd be a fool to even try, but I do draw the line at knifing and shooting. Well, if Miss Dora can't control her customers, she's just going to have to close.
Close her? Over my dead body.
She'll still have to close.
Earp, I had you right in the first place. You're nothing but a stupid, sanctimonious John Law. Now, let me tell you...
Hold it, Kelly. Don't get tough with the marshal. Let Major Paxton handle him.
Who's Major Paxton?
He's boss of construction for the Santa Fe, that's who.
Fine man, Paxton. I'll stand you all around the drinks on it.
You drink to the railroad, Mr. Earp?
I'm sorry, I don't drink. You can also tell Major Paxton I don't handle easy either.
Double round of drinks. Free.
All right. All right, we'll have a nice peaceable shindig.
Yeah.
Here's to Miss Dora, the Daisy Belle of Kansas.
To Miss Dora.
And we don't want any more dirty buffalo hunters causing trouble. We're going over to her place and we're going to throw them out. It'll be for railroad men only.
Whoa, now, friend, whoa.
Do you see that, Kelly? It's a lantern. We're going to hang it on the door. And that will mean that Dora's place is for railroad men only. Drinking to that, Kelly?
Well, sure. We'll all drink to that. Then on the house.
On the house. On the house.
Yes, sir, this is Santa Fe night in Jim Kelly's. Any more railroad men in the house? Well, two more. Step right up here. Up here, I'm buying you a drink. Belly up. Belly up.
Better get over to the Alhambra right away. There's been a crime committed.
Kelly's? What is it, a barroom brawl?
Worse than that.
All right, put this one in the back room, too. Easy. Nice and gentle now. I don't want a bruise or a mark on him.
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
Bad liquor. They got it at Chalk Beeson's place across the street. What he uses in his whiskey, I'll never know.
Put him down, Mr. Kelly.
Well, it's just some bad liquor.
Never mind. Holy smoke. Chloral hydrate. Anybody else besides these three men get Mickey Fins?
Marshal, I swear it wasn't.
I thought you were smarter than this.
I had to do it.
Why?
They were going over to Miss Dora's to pick a fight with the buffalo hunters.
Did you know that knockout drops can kill a man? It's poisonous.
They're railroad men. You couldn't kill a railroad man with a Mickey Finn.
Chloral hydrate is a deadly poison. I had to charge you with attempted murder.
Charge me.
Here I thought the old Jim Kelly was dead. That you'd put an end to all this hoodlum stuff.
Come on, lock me up.
Don't you even stop to think?
Grogan and Humpy put on a dance hall fight. Now you spread that route to all the buffalo hunters and all the railroad men.
Well, I done it for her.
Dance hall girl and a pretty face.
Now you stop right there. She's a ministering angel, that's what she is.
She's what?
You go over to Reverend Hawkett's church in the morning and... No, never mind. Come on, lock me up.
Never mind. We'll do that later. I'm going to send Doc McCarty over here to take care of these men. You pay the doc, and you just better hope they all wake up by tomorrow morning.
And I'm no prude, Marshal. I expect my men to get drunk and chase dance hall girls. But I can't let it interfere with their work for the railroad. We're pushing iron. 2 to 4 miles of track a day.
Yes, sir.
There's a pretty kettle of fish. Grogan, my top boss in the spike crew, laid up with a fractured skull. 7 terriers, groggy from drugged liquor. Do you think the railroad's going to stand for this?
Well, your men kind of asked for trouble, Major Paxton.
Are you defending this Dora hand? Am I to infer...
No, sir. I'm not taking sides with Miss Dora or Mr. Kelly. I think we may be doing them both an injustice.
Injustice? Great Scott, this hand woman has given me more trouble than all the other dance hall operators combined. I didn't come here to argue. I demand that you close this woman's place. Run her out of Dodge.
Well, if I decide that's the way to handle it, I'll do it.
How long do you think it'll take you to make up your mind?
Not long, Major.
I'll give you until tomorrow. After that, the railroad will take it to the town council.
Well, tomorrow will be time enough.
Good.
There's just one little thing that bothers me.
Yeah?
The blanket camps outside of town are full of buffalo men. You got a big crew driving track. I think I can calm down the buffalo men. I used to be a hide hunter myself, but what about your crew?
They'll be busy in the railroad.
We'll see that they stay that way, otherwise we may have a little fight on our hands.
You going out to those buffalo camps now?
Later. Gotta go to church first.
He kindly lie amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark, and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step enough for me.
Very good, Miss Hand. Now then, we'll try the recessional hymn.
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me. I promised Reverend Hawkett to take up a collection for him.
Oh, yes, I've forgotten. Another choir practice Saturday?
Yes, I'll be here. Good day to you all. Good day.
Good day. We'll go right to the recessional hymn. Page 119.
Well, say it.
Say what?
That I'm on the wrong side of town, that I shouldn't dast enter a church.
Well, I couldn't very well say that, Miss Doyle. After all, they let me in church, too. Mr. Kelly got mad and told me I should talk to the Reverend Hawkett about you.
Kelly.
He also called you a ministering angel.
Blarney. Sure, I kicked in some money to help build the church, but so did every place else in town. The Reverend Hawkett asked me to join the choir because I sing a little bit better than the rest.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
This has nothing to do with whether you're going to close my dance hall or not. Are you?
Did you talk to the men?
Yes, I talked to them. They all promised they'd stop all the rough stuff. But to be honest with you, Mr. Earp, I don't believe it.
Well, that's bad news.
Lots of people will get hurt.
Including you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'll take care of myself.
I like you, Miss Doyle.
And you like Jim Kelly. It's foolish of you, Mr. Earp. Liking us is going to get you into lots of trouble. So much trouble, you'll have to leave Dodge.
Well, I don't need anybody's help to get me into trouble.
Here it comes.
Excuse me. Wyatt, a whole section gang's gone down to that blanket camp. They say they're going to run those buffalo hunters right out of Kansas.
Guess I better saddle up. Excuse me, ma'am.
Watch yourself, Marshal. They're a pretty tough lot.
Railroad man! Jimmy!
Okay, get up.
Tear it down!
All right, stack it up over here. Where's the camp down?
Camp.
You're mighty late, ain't you, Herb?
Yeah, I guess I am. Another one of your gang just burned out a buffalo camp a mile down the road. But we're in plenty of time to make you pay for the damages, and I want your hands to come up, and I want them to come up empty. Put them up, way up. All right, Mr. Fromm, you claim there was about $750 worth of damage, huh? They burn any rifles?
Yeah. 2 Sharps and a Winchester.
That's about $150 more. I'll take care of this.
You better take care of it. My whole ballast crew pulled off of the job. We're a mile and a half behind schedule.
Don't lecture me.
What was that?
I don't want any railroad big talk. Your men were caught dead to rights. They raided and burned a hide hunter's camp, and the damage is $900.
The railroad won't pay a cent.
And they stay in jail.
You had no right to arrest them. You're a town marshal.
I'm also a United States deputy marshal. If I were you, I'd get that money and get it fast. And I'll try and talk the buffalo hunters out of making their own raid.
Are you threatening the railroad?
I don't waste my time, Major. If you don't have that money in 2 hours, I won't even try and stop. Now, who do you think you're fooling with? Those buffalo hunters are tougher man for man than any cowhands you ever heard of.
What do you think they'll do?
Probably chase your crews off the rack. Tear up about 5 miles of track. That'd be my guess.
It's all your fault.
Oh?
I asked you to run that woman out of town. That fancy Belle Dora hand.
She had nothing to do with it. Well, you're wasting your time, Major.
All right. I'll get the money. But it's blackmail.
You want to repeat that?
No. I guess not. Sorry. Marshal, a barkeep brought a message from Miss Dora. Wants to see you right away. Says it's very important.
Yeah, all right.
And don't try to soft soap me. You got me into this mess, you and your Mickey Finn. And don't say that you did it to keep the fighting out of my place. You did it for Earp.
Earp? I don't even like him.
Oh, yes, you do. And he likes you. He told me so.
Yeah? Since when did you and Earp get so friendly?
Don't change the subject. The subject is that those hide hunters, you know what they're aiming to do to the railroad men.
Yeah, I ain't admitting that.
Better admit
Now,
it.
Dora? Now,
Earp's
Dora?
coming here. I sent for him, and you better tell him the truth because I'm tired of your hoodlum shenanigans.
I'm a hoodlum. Just look who's talking.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, Mr. Earp. Miss Dora was showing me the statue. Just feel the weight of it.
It's, quite handsome.
All right, Kelly. Tell Mr. Earp.
Tell him what?
The buffalo hunters are aiming to get even with the railroad crew for wrecking their camp. Jim knows all about it.
I'm keeping you out of this. There's no call for you to get in the middle between them buffalo hunters and the railroad.
You see, he wants to be your friend, but he's such a hoodlum, he doesn't know how.
All right, I'm a hoodlum, and you're a lady.
It's an odd term.
What's an odd turn?
Well, what I mean, Mr. Kelly, is that you can't keep a peace officer out of trouble. That's what he gets paid for.
If he knows the right cards, he's got a better chance.
I'd have no chance at all.
Major Paxson offered to pay the damages. Won't that calm the boys down?
No, it's too late for damages.
All right. Well, who's leading them and where can I find them? At your place?
Tell him, Jim, or I'll never even think about marrying you.
Dora!
Well, Mr. Earp, we were going to give up this sort of life, together, both of us. But every time the chips are down, it's that old hoodlum Kelly. Well, I'm quitting the church. I'm never going to go inside there again.
No, Dora, no. I'll tell.
Touch me.
The buffalo hunters left for the end of the track about an hour ago.
With guns? They aim to bushwhack the Santa Fe, huh?
No, plain stand-up fight. Now, don't go out there. It'd be like riding between the Federals and the Johnny Rebs.
He's right, Mr. Earp. We thought it was just going to be a sneak raid.
If Major Paxton offered to pay the damages, those fellas start shooting, they'll wind up in jail. I'll see you all later.
Well, you told him, Kelly.
I hope you're satisfied. I know what I'm going to do.
Break out the guns! The buffalo hunters! Break the cover! Grab the gun!
Told you, there's no way between them or behind them. I got the money. What do they want?
Give me the money, Major.
Use your head. Don't try to go between them. They'll cut you down.
Maybe not.
Hey, Buffalo Man, I got your money. The railroad paid the damages. How'd you fire?
Get back, Wyatt. It's too late for talking.
Go back, Miss Dora! Go back!
It is Miss Dora. Hold your fire.
Quit shooting, you'll hit Miss Dora.
You ain't hurt, Miss Dora.
No, I'm not, but it's a small wonder. You idiots out here shooting at each other in a darn fool row. Put down your guns, all of you. Or you'll never get a welcome again from me or my girls, and I mean it.
Look, the railroad paid your damages, $900.
It ain't enough, Wyatt.
Well, that's all you're going to get. Now, if you men hang around here with guns, the railroad's going to start the soldiers after you. You buffalo hunters haven't changed a bit from the days I was a hide hunter. You're all still stubborn and cantankerous.
Well, that settles it. Unless you behave yourselves, no more buffalo men welcome in my dance hall.
Oh, we take the deal, Miss Dora, and we behave, don't we, boys?
Yeah, we agree to that, don't we, fellas? Yeah, we agree.
No more fighting.
Now, you can take this to the city council. That's your privilege. But what Miss Dora Hand did this afternoon more than makes up for any trouble that was caused at her place. Now, I'll argue against closing her. Jim Kelly controls the majority vote in the council.
Well, I guess you're right. No hard feelings?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Quite a woman, isn't she?
Can I tell her that it's coming from you?
Great Scott, no. I'm a happily married man. Miss
Dora.
Oh, howdy.
Did you have your talk with Reverend Hawkins?
He wants me to stay on in the choir. The women are raising such Ned. I've caused enough trouble already. Foolish notion. Me in a church.
Now, wait a minute. What is the church for except for good people and sinners? I'm going back in there and tell them what they...
Whoa, Marshal. Love thy neighbor. Be good to them that hate you, remember?
Don't smile. You don't feel like smiling?
No, I don't. You were about to say...
I was about to say that in this town of women, you're a great lady.
Thank you.